Miles just watched the girl he's been pining after all season kiss another guy at a school dance, and honestly, that's basically the least chaotic thing that happens in this finale. Prime Video's Elle, the Legally Blonde prequel, teenage Elle Woods before Harvard, before the Bend and Snap, dropped its season 1 finale on July 1st, 2026, and it packs a scandal, a full embezzlement conspiracy, and a love triangle resolution into about 45 minutes. There is a lot going on here, so let's actually break it down piece by piece. Quick reset in case you're not caught up. Elle's a confident 16-year-old from LA who gets dragged to Seattle after some family drama, and she has to start over at Rainier West High. It's giving fish out of water, but make it Reese Witherspoon's fictional teenage daughter energy. Except, to be clear, this isn't literally Reese's character. She's an executive producer on the show, not in it. Lexi Mindtree plays Elle, and 8 episodes later, she's basically unrecognizable from the girl we met in the pilot. By the time we hit episode 8, titled What Like It's Hard, nice little title drop for anyone who's seen the original movie, the show's been building 3 separate fires that all need putting out at the exact same time. So that's how I want to structure this, fire by fire. So Elle wrote this really personal essay for a Cosmopolitan writing contest, and it was not flattering about Seattle or her new school or, honestly, some of the people she'd gotten close to that season. Normally, that kind of thing stays locked in a Google Doc forever, except her mom, Eva, submits it to the contest without telling her, which, if you think about it, is a wild violation of trust for a show that's ostensibly a fun teen dramedy. It gets published, Shannon finds it, and within basically one school day, the entire student body knows exactly what Elle really thinks of them. Liz, Miles, Dustin, everyone turns on her at once, and it's genuinely one of those secondhand embarrassment sequences that's hard to watch. And this is where the show does something I actually respect. Elle doesn't get to fix it with one big speech. She does apologize publicly at a school assembly, and it reads as sincere. She's not performing contrition. She means it. But some people just don't forgive her. That's it. No dramatic swell of music where suddenly everyone's cool again, and we cut to a group hug. She has to sit in the consequences for real, which, for a teen dramedy inspired by a movie where the biggest obstacle was proving a perm alibi, is a more grown-up choice than I was expecting going in. This one's been simmering since way earlier in the season, back around episode 3 or 4, if I'm remembering right. Dustin's convinced Principal Anderson is embezzling school funds, and it turns out he's completely right. He's not just being a conspiracy-brained rebel for no reason. The way Elle actually cracks the case is honestly kind of perfect. She notices an earthquake insurance line item in the school budget that's clearly forged, and she only catches it because of something specific from her own past. The show doesn't spell it out super clearly, but the implication is she's dealt with insurance paperwork before and knows exactly what a real policy looks like. Girl's not even in law school yet, and she's already doing forensic accounting on a Tuesday. Following that thread leads all the way up to mayoral candidate Dean Wilson, who's been the one blackmailing people and funneling the stolen school money into his own political campaign this entire time. Which, okay, that's a genuinely bigger swing than I expected from a Legally Blonde prequel. Municipal corruption is not what I signed up for, but I'm not mad about it. Once that's exposed, Donna, Liz's mom, who'd been framed for the whole scheme and lost her job as school secretary because of it, finally gets cleared and gets reinstated. Small win in an episode that's mostly chaos. Okay, this is obviously the part everyone's going to be clipping for TikTok. Elle's had this back and forth all season between Miles, track star, her first real crush in Seattle, the safe choice, and Dustin, the anti-establishment guy who can't say what he actually means without 10 layers of sarcasm first. After the essay scandal blows up, basically every friendship she has, she takes off for LA thinking maybe she just doesn't belong in Seattle at all. Maybe this whole experiment was a mistake. Then, mid-trip, she changes her mind and races back, literally sprinting through Seattle traffic in heels because some things about this character are apparently non-negotiable no matter what decade or age she is, to make it to the winter informal in time for Liz's performance. She finds Dustin in the crowd. They argue for a second, like they always do, because that's their whole dynamic banter that's really just two people avoiding saying how they feel. And then he kisses her. Miles sees the entire thing happen from a few feet away. That's the note the season ends on for the triangle. Dustin wins, at least for now, and Miles is left standing there processing it live on screen in real time, which, poor guy, honestly. There's also a genuinely sweet beat tucked into this same stretch with Shannon, who'd broken up with Miles right before all this went down. She and Elle have a mature, no drama goodbye at the airport as Shannon heads off to live with her dad in Denver, and she tells Elle she's got her blessing to be with Miles if that's what she wants, which becomes a pretty sharp piece of dramatic irony once you know how the episode actually ends. Shannon's out here giving her blessing for a pairing that doesn't even happen. Quick detour because I think this one gets buried under the main triangle, and it shouldn't. Kimberly and Liz secretly hooked up at summer camp before the show even started, and Kimberly spent the entire season pretending she barely knows Liz, playing it cold, acting like there's nothing there, except the finale reveals she's been holding on to a whole stash of Liz's zines and an old cassette tape of her music this entire time. So, she cared a lot. That's not a we're just friends move. That's a I've built a small shrine and I'm in denial about it move. This one's left wide open heading into season 2, and I'll be honest, I think it might end up being the stronger romance arc long-term compared to the Dustin Miles situation. This is the real gut punch of the finale, and it's easy to miss because it's happening quietly in the background of all the teen drama. Eva finally confronts her husband Wyatt about how much she's given up moving to Seattle for his job, admits out loud that the constant compromising hasn't been working for her, and the show just leaves it there. No resolution, no reconciliation scene, no we'll figure it out together moment. Given that the whole season's been quietly paralleling Elle's coming-of-age arc with Eva's own version of the same question, figuring out where you actually belong, I'd bet money this marriage becomes the emotional spine of season 2, not just a side thread they check in on twice. Here's the good news if you're already stressed about the Miles-Dustin situation. Amazon MGM Studios renewed Elle for season 2 before season 1 had even premiered, which tells you the studio's confident in this thing. And showrunner Laura Kittrell has said directly that season 2 picks up immediately where this one ends. So none of these cliffhangers are getting stretched out over some agonizing hiatus wait. Production reportedly geared back up in June 2026, and since season 1 shot starting April 2025 for a July 2026 premiere, that math points to something like a summer 2027 release if the timeline holds steady. So to actually sum up where everyone lands, Elle chooses Dustin, Miles gets his heart broken in real time in front of a crowd. The embezzlement plot ties all the way back to a corrupt mayoral candidate of all people. Donna gets her job back. Liz and Kimberly are one honest conversation away from finally being a thing. And Elle's parents might be quietly headed toward a divorce plotline that absolutely nobody saw coming from a Legally Blonde prequel. Wild season for a show that opens with a girl just wanting people to appreciate her pink juicy couture tracksuit. Let me know down in the comments, Team Dustin, or are you still holding out hope for Miles somehow? And do you think Eva and Wyatt actually split, or is that a bridge too far for this universe? Let me know what you want to see in season 2. I'll see you in the next one.